The song that I'm about to sing now is a song that I've already sang here on TikTok about clubs. And people were so quick to defend and say, where are the stats that all clubs are like that? Where are the stats? And you were defending them and saying there's no way you would not go to a club because you want to go and enjoy yourselves. What happened now?
The recent leak of inhumane treatment at Zanzu nightclub in Pretoria have sent shockwaves throughout South Africa, bringing to the forefront issues of systemic violence, regulatory failures, and the lingering shadows of apartheid-era racial discrimination. This incident underscores the urgent need for stringent governmental oversight of entertainment venues and a renewed commitment to genuine equality among all South African citizens. Have a listen to this South African lady explaining.
I told you guys that the way that clubs are designed is so that things like this can happen successfully without anyone batting an eye. From the way that the lights are set up, it's for you to be distracted so that things can happen. These clubs keep proving over and over again that they don't have your best interests at heart. You are just there to disturb so that it looks like something is happening while operations are running at the back, while people are being abused, while people are being stolen from. If it's not women's drinks being spiked, then it's people's phones being lost. If it's not that, then it's a guy meets girl, then girl decides to go home with the guy and then cries that she was raped. Or guy meets girl, girl decides to go home with the guy, then next day guy is robbed because he was drugged and now he has nothing left. There is not even one person that can come and testify and say, ever since I started going to clubs, my life has been so much better. My money has been increasing. I've been saving money. I was able to build a house. I was able to do important things. That I was able to be more educated. I was smarter and more intelligent. I was more at peace. Those are not the stories that you're hearing. It's always stories of despair. You will cry and say, but we're just having fun. It's not that serious. We're just having fun. If you really want to have fun, why don't you find other ways to have fun? Is clubs the only way you can have fun? You're telling me that there's no other way that you can have fun besides going to clubs. The spirit that was ruling at Didi's parties is the same spirit that is ruling at these clubs. That's why the outcomes are always the same. There's no way it's no story of rape or human trafficking or money laundering to show that the same spirit was operating. But you guys are saying, no, I'm not participating here, that I'm just here to have fun. You are the product. No club has ever had an owner that's a saint. That's why there's always stories of club owners being arrested or being shot. Because there's no saint that runs these clubs. They don't sit there and say, let's make a place where people can enjoy themselves and feel fulfilled and be happy and go home and say, wow, my life is so much better. Wow, what a wonderful experience. And that's why the Bible says, be sober and be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, is roaming around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. When you are at clubs, you're not sober, you're not vigilant. That's why things like this can happen. You're going there to prove that you are at clubs, but you don't even have money. You're going there to see if there's men that are going to buy you alcohol. So that's why it's easy to take advantage of you. You are drinking. It's full. Everybody's dancing. You're screaming. Nobody is sober. Nobody is vigilant to see enough what is going on. So you are a very good participant in these things. Even if you're not doing anything to contribute to these crimes, but you are there, meaning that you are allowing them to facilitate and be facilitated because you are there causing the distractions while they operate underground. Continue, guys. We can't tell you the same things every day. Continue. But me, I just know that I'm not making a video like this ever again.
As you can see, we are outside the Zanzu nightclub in Hatfield in Pretoria East, a day after videos went viral on social media showing bouncers at this place torturing patrons. Now, police have confirmed that the incident happened in 2023 and the case was only opened yesterday after the videos went viral on social media. Now, as you can see, the police have declared this scene, this area, as a crime scene. They've cordoned off Zanzu. Earlier on today, we saw a truck that pulled over here trying to pick up the equipment and stock. Of course, police and the people who were protesting here stopped that from happening, saying that there would be tampering with the evidence. As you would know, that more investigations are underway to try and ensure or to try and find the perpetrators behind the torturing of the patrons. As we speak, 8 men are being looked for by the police. The police have not arrested anyone as we speak, but today we saw a number of protests happening outside Zanzu. The health MMC for the city of Tshwane said the security company that was contracted to provide security services to this club is not compliant with the security regulations by SIRA.
The atrocities at Zanzu nightclub. In February 2025, disturbing videos emerged showing patrons at Zanzu nightclub being subjected to severe beatings, waterboarding, and sexual assault by the club's security personnel. These graphic depictions of torture and dehumanization have been widely circulated on social media, prompting national outrage and demands for justice.
Also spoke with the officials of the city that we need to probe in all 12 establishments that are run by Stephen and his crew, and we also have spoken to other stakeholders like your Department of Labor, because there's also alleged accusations of the fact that they do not comply within certain requirements in the labor aspect. This is not the first time whereby we had to have this kind of session with the owners of Zanzu. We once met with them in Main Lane in Babel, where they were accused of unfair discrimination with one of their employees. So there's a continuous pattern in terms of how they operate, and we have learned that they're only operating within the entertainment industry, whereby is mostly dominated by the youth, and you can know that Tshwane is a youth center. So we are going to also call that all 12 establishments of theirs need to be probed so that we do not leave any stone unturned. We're also going to call that their license certificates must be revoked until this matter of Zanzu is heard in the Human Rights Commission and is settled for the betterment of our people.
So that of course raises concerns about the management here at Zanzu allowing a non-compliant security company to give them security services. Maybe one would say that is the reason such incidents happened here. But of course investigations are ongoing and police are yet to confirm whether there have been any arrests or breakthroughs.
Auntie, what happened to, making someone wash dishes or clean the place just because they didn't pay the bill, or calling the cops on them, or whatever the case might be?
The Department of Justice and Constitutional Development condemned these acts as a gross violation of the fundamental human rights enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Further investigations revealed that Zanzu was operating illegally, lacking the necessary permits to function as a nightclub.
Really violating the people's human rights, too many of them at the same time, and they recorded this for whatever reason, and I think it got leaked because hey, a very sad thing. We don't know if the police are going to intervene in this or whatever the case might be. A statement was issued by Zanzu. We don't know what's happening, but now I'm just coming out to my ladies. The ladies, you can see this is happening. Why not just make sure you don't go to the club and overspend or get a bill that you can't actually afford, because we don't know what they're going to do to you, and your things might not be documented, and you might not feel safe to actually go to the cops about it or whatever the case might be. So I don't believe, do not go to the club when you can't afford whatever and order whatever you like, hoping you're going to get away with it, or they're just going to call the cops on you, or because that is not what's happening. And I'm pretty sure, apologies for speculating if I am speculating, but I'm not, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of videos that might emerge, or there's a lot of victims that this thing has happened to. But only when you're a lady, just don't do it, because when you're a lady, I think it's going to be far worse for you as well, because or whatever the case that might happen. So please, ladies, be safe. Be safe. We don't want to see such a trend with you ladies. And also everyone else out there, do not go to places that you can't afford. I'm not saying they are, but again, they deserved it, but I'm just saying, just to protect yourself, just to be safe. Let's
analyze the Zanzu nightclub videos and see what lessons we can take from it. For those of you who don't know, Zanzu is a nightclub in Pretoria, and an incident happened, right, with these young men. Allegedly, these young men were trying to have a good time, and then they ran the bill up so high that they couldn't afford to pay the bill, and then the bouncers at the club ended up beating them up, torturing them, and then all the videos from all the torture that they received are online. Now, obviously, this incident has been met with public outrage, with many South Africans calling for this club to be shut down. Now listen, I'm not going to talk about how we should try and get this place to be shut down. I'm not going to talk about that. But let's talk about how we can avoid our fellow brothers and maybe our sisters from getting into a situation like this. Guys, make sure you've got the adequate amount of funds when you are spending in these clubs. Don't try and spend crazily just because you want to try and impress your friends, saying, oh, run the bill up and have all these people spending on your tab, you know. Because I would like to believe, listen, if I was to speculate, I know that all these young men probably had a whole lot of people in their section and everybody was ordering drinks and the bill gets so high that they find themselves in a situation like that. Guys, I don't want to lie to you. Be stingy, guys. Be stingy in the club. Like, switch on a stingy mindset when you enter these clubs, especially when you know you don't got it like that, when you don't have the necessary funds for clubbing, right? And there are very few people that have that type of money that can walk into the club and they can say, you know what, run the bill up, I don't care. It can reach 100,000 to 200,000 rand and it's not going to be an issue for them. There are very few people in South Africa that have money like that. Know your financial position when you go to these clubs. Know your budget. Have a budget, guys, when you're going into these clubs. Don't try and be a people pleaser. If you become a people pleaser, you're gonna get chowed. You're gonna be chowed, because anything that interferes with people not getting their money, especially these club owners. I'm not gonna talk much about club owners and how dangerous some of them are, but when you fail to give them their money, hey, talk. Now, I'm not saying don't club or don't have fun or be scared of clubbing. All I'm saying is that you need high levels of financial discipline. Right, that's the boring part. Unfortunately, not everything about clubbing is fun. That particular aspect is absolutely boring, that you need to manage your finances well, or else you're gonna put yourself at danger. And we're gonna cry about it right now. What we're seeing on those videos is absolutely disgusting, and you know, those images are going to haunt many of us for many years to come. So let's try and avoid that happening. We don't want to see you trending on TikTok and X. You know, stay safe, man.
You know, the sad thing about this whole Zanzu situation is that the government really failed us as a people, because they don't actually enforce the laws to protect the citizens. You know, they don't really, the people that work in law enforcement, they don't take their jobs seriously enough to basically make a change and to send a message to everyone. And even just this guy alone addressing the whole thing, like, you can just see, like, South Africa is not really a serious country as it comes to law enforcement, because even when you listen to the people that are shouting in those videos, you can just hear, you know what I mean? And what this does, this basically sends a message to every other country that you can just come here and play in South Africa. Certain people that were doing those heinous crimes in those videos, if they were in Saudi Arabia, they would never do this. They would never do this, and they wouldn't, even if they tried, they wouldn't get away with this. But because South Africa and South Africans' laws and the South African government doesn't necessarily favor its citizens, people come from wherever they come from and they come here and they do whatever they want. That is the problem with this country. And to the guys that were, to the victims of the whole Zanzu situations, my brothers, I'm really sorry, dog. I'm really sorry, man.
I was shocked this morning, I have to say, and I've been rallying everyone. You know, I reached out to the ANC Provincial Secretary, Mr. TK Ngiza, and I was like, there is no way, not under South African law, that we're going to allow this. This is inhumane. This is, you know, impacting, you know, younger people at an age where, you know, anything can happen. They might turn and become criminals from this heinous crime that was committed to them. And before I even go any further, I think first things first, as a foundation, as Mzansi Act now, we would like to offer them psychosocial support, making sure that they can heal through this process and they can get through this process, because this is the most ugliest thing I've seen in a long time. It felt like, you know, some army camp, or it felt like, you know, a torture camp of some sort. And the fact that, you know, this has spread so much, and it's like wildfire spreading across the entire nation. And I would also request that we stop sharing the images, because anything could happen to these young boys.
Well, you might be wondering what's happening with the Zanzu nightclub in Pretoria. Well, the club is in trouble now after videos emerged online showing bouncers at the club torturing a group of young men who were out to have a good time at Zanzu. Now, in the videos, a number of videos really shows some of the young men being forcibly held down in a bucket of water and being forced to breathe by the bouncers, being covered with a face cloth and water being poured on their faces and them struggling to breathe. I mean, you can actually see them begging for the mercy of the bouncers. And I mean, you know, there are allegedly 2 reasons why the bouncers decided to torture those patrons on that day. Number one, we've heard that the patrons did not pay their bills at the nightclub. The second one we heard is that they were phone thieves. But of course, police haven't confirmed what the exact reason is, and they have, of course, launched an investigation into the matter, launching a manhunt as well to find the bouncers that were responsible for the whole torturing scandal at the Zanzu nightclub. Now, police, political parties actually and civil society organizations are calling for the nightclub to be shut down for good. You would know that the nightclub is owned by a very influential businessman who owns about 12 nightclubs and restaurants in Pretoria and Johannesburg. So it might be interesting to see how this one unfolds. But as we know at this moment, the police have described the matter as barbaric, and they are saying that the young men, no matter what they did, were subjected to inhumane, barbaric, and very terrible conditions. So we will be seeing what's going to be happening as far as the Zanzu club is concerned.
Hello guys, I hope you guys doing well. It's me, Pablo, the one who posts all the video that have been linking on the net, social media, wherever, but Zanzu, everything is true. Everything is 100% true. No one must disturb you to say it's fake, it's because of this, it's because of this. All that is fake. I got more than 75 video extra that I'm going to expose anytime soon. It's crazy. Everything is crazy. I'll speak less. I would like you guys to see everything on your own eyes. The media gonna share information with you. I don't know, website, all the channel, they got information and they will send it to you guys. Everyone can watch all of that. I've been working for these people for 7 years, so I know this industry how it works. I know everything how it works. There's no one can come say this. Everything I'm telling you guys, you need to listen to it and believe on it. I know you guys like to believe with proof, and I got a lot of proof for you that I'm going to expose. Drama. There's 2 people that they've been hitting. They get hit very too much because of some issue there. There was a team of people beating those people like it was crazy. Those people apparently they're dead already. They throw them somewhere. And I got those videos. And Mr. Neo Moela is part of those things. And all the video you see is inside included. Everything. I got everything you see. Guys, all I will say is I'll speak less. I'm not gonna try to make these things look like I'm there for something, but I'm gonna try to just make them understanding that we are living in a world that anything can turn. I was there, I saw, and I know what I'm talking about, and I got a lot of proof. You guys will be very disappointed too much that everything is going down and everything is going to shut down. They always speak about money, they have money, they can deal with everything. Those people cooperate with all the police, Sunnyside, Brooklyn, Mailing side, all the police, they're under, they're controlling, those people are controlling them, paying the supervisor, this. When you open a case, the engaged answer, they will delete the case, they call them, this person come open a case, like they do a lot of things.
Governmental oversight and regulatory failures. The Zanzu incident highlights significant lapses in governmental oversight and enforcement of regulations pertaining to entertainment venues. Had there been rigorous monitoring and enforcement of zoning laws and operational permits, Zanzu's illegal activities might have been curtailed before escalating to such egregious human rights violations. This situation calls for the implementation of stricter policies and regular inspections to ensure that establishments comply with legal standards designed to protect patrons. Such measures would not only prevent illegal operations, but also deter environments where abuse and discrimination can flourish unchecked. While the Zanzu incident may not be explicitly rooted in racial discrimination, it serves as a stark reminder of the broader societal issues that persist in post-apartheid South Africa. The nation's history of apartheid instituted deep-seated racial divisions, with laws like the Reservation of Separate Amenities Act of 1953 legalizing racial segregation in public spaces. Despite the abolition of apartheid and the establishment of a constitution that champions human dignity and equality, remnants of racial bias and inequality continue to manifest in various sectors, including nightlife and entertainment. Studies have shown that dress codes and other ostensibly neutral policies in urban nightclubs can be employed to racially discriminate against patrons, perpetuating segregation and social exclusion. To dismantle these lingering prejudices, it is imperative for both the government and civil society to actively promote inclusivity and equal treatment across all spheres. This includes enforcing anti-discrimination laws, fostering dialogues on racial reconciliation, and implementing educational programs that address the historical and contemporary impacts of racism. Historical context: the legacy of apartheid. The apartheid era, spanning from 1948 to 1994, was characterized by institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination, systematically disenfranchising non-white South Africans. Policies enforced during this period relegated black citizens to inferior public amenities, limited economic opportunities, and subjected them to pervasive social injustices. The transition to democracy in 1994 marked a significant milestone, with a new constitution enshrining principles of equality and human rights. However, the deep-rooted socio-economic disparities and racial tensions cultivated over decades have proven resilient, necessitating ongoing efforts to achieve true equality. Conclusion: the atrocities committed at Zanzu nightclub are a grim testament to the consequences of inadequate regulatory oversight and the persistence of societal inequalities. This incident should serve as a catalyst for comprehensive reforms aimed at ensuring the safety and dignity of all individuals, irrespective of race or background. By enforcing stringent regulations, promoting racial and social equality, and confronting the enduring legacy of apartheid, South Africa can strive towards a more just and inclusive society. Kindly do remember to support my works by subscribing and joining my Patreon page.